Welcome back to Straight Facts. It's Friday. I'm joined by Staffy and Don. Twice a week, Don at the moment. And I'm liking the Movember moustache as well, bruv. Looking slick, bruv. Looking slick.
Yeah, man. I'm looking a bit grizzly right now. I need to get a haircut. You know what I mean? I need to get a haircut.
Just do the handlebars. Just do the handlebars. Just.
Oh, looking like a Mexican.
Yeah.
I'll be looking like Pedro. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah, look, I was thinking more YMCA. That moustache always reminds me of the YMCA, like the village people, you know.
No, but hold on. I heard there was a meeting midweek. Where was I? Where was my invite? Like, what happened?
Oh,
yeah, well, you jumped. Sorry, I asked Don. I preferred Don in it. I was like,
you was asleep. You was asleep, big man. You were still asleep.
You were asleep, to be fair. So,
was it? It was 3 p.m. That's the same time right now.
But I was asking for people. I was asking in the morning. People pulled out in the morning, and I had to find people on a real one. But listen, everyone who's tuning in, thank you. Like, share, subscribe, hit all the buttons that you need to hit as well. If you're watching over on X, I know quite a few of you do watch there. Please repost, like, leave your comments below. But you can click on the link and join us here over on YouTube. Lots to talk about today. It's been another very eventful week in football on so many levels. And Arne Slot, Staffy, could this be his last game? We spoke last week. They've played 2 games since. They've lost them both. It's 6 losses out of 7. I'm not going to do the meme because I think the meme has been done too much. But it's very 6 losses in the last 7 games. They've got an injury problem now with Frimpong now out. Alisson's out. Isak's out. It's touch and go with Gravenberch and Curtis Jones. Could this be his last game this weekend?
That's a great question. I was thinking about this before we went live. I was like, I know we're going to talk about Slot today. And I just had to sit there and think, I'm like, what am I actually going to say when we talk about that? Because I haven't really made up my mind yet. So I did a little bit of critical thinking before this. And I'll be honest with you.
You feeling okay? You feeling all right, though?
I'm a critical thinker every day. Respect.
Okay. Just checking.
You always have to find a way to take a dig at me, but
no, that's not big. I'm caring, bro. I'm just, I feel a bit vulnerable myself after my because I've got a pain in my arm. And I just want to take care of my fellow
people. Man. Just admit it.
Who you are? Yeah. But I look at it this way, right? You're not the dumbest person in the world, Staffy, but you better hope the dumbest person doesn't die. Is the way I view it. Do you know what I mean? So.
I'm every bit of dumb as you are with your football ID. When we say you like ugly footballers, yeah. So
that's a good point. Good point.
So anyways, now that the digging is done, let's go back to digging at Liverpool.
Back to Liverpool. Yeah,
let's cook Liverpool. On a real though, now I was thinking about it. I was like, I generally don't see how they'll survive this if this continues. Now, I don't think I've ever seen, by the way, a manager being called to be sacked after a Carabao Cup game. Have you guys noticed that? Because a lot of people want Slot out after the Palace game. And I'm like, wait, like, usually we don't care if you lose in the Carabao Cup, especially with your bench, right? Like, no one really goes manager out on what's so-called the smallest competition that we all compete in every year. And then I just thought about it. I was like, but it's just like a lot more than that. It's because the performance you've seen against Palace, you've seen in the other games against Palace, because that's 3 times this season they lost to them. You've seen it against every team they faced so far. Brentford, United. I'm going to lose track of who they lost to. The only thing I remember is they beat Frankfurt. That's it. Everyone else has just been the same thing. And I'm like, this isn't just a reaction to losing the cup. This isn't just a reaction to losing the Palace again. It's a lot of people like keeping it in them. They're like, you know what? I'm gonna give him more chances. I'll give him more time. I'm hoping to see some changes. I'm hoping to see a difference in tactics, a difference in man management and game management. And I'll be honest, it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse every game. And it's just like, I know we talk about Liverpool as a club that is kind of patient. They're one of the most patient clubs, right? They're not known for hiring and sacking, and they're not Abramovich Chelsea. They're not that type of club. They usually do give people chances. They do give them time, especially after winning a league. But I'll be honest, when you look at the amount of money they spent versus the football that they're putting out on a weekly basis, no matter who's playing, I just don't see how Arne Slot is going to survive this. In another season, where, yeah, maybe they didn't invest that much. Maybe they're just in a transition year because their players are not the best. We went into this season having debates that they're going to walk the league, that they have the best defense in the league, that they have the best player in the league, they have the best center back in the league, they have the best depth in the league. All this, there's so many arguments. And it's not remotely close. They're not just underperforming. They're miles away from what people expected from them this season. And I don't see any instant improvements that are going to happen next game. Yes, you can. Of course, Liverpool are not going to lose every game. Of course, they're eventually going to win. They might go on a two-game winning streak after this. But I'm seeing some of these issues that are going to stay with them this season. And the ultimate result to me is that not only are they going to continue to lose games, they're not going to achieve anywhere near where the investments were in the summer. And if that happens, I'll be honest, I think he's going to get sacked sooner rather than later.
Where would you sort of rank their squad? Yeah, in terms of, looking at the Prem, right?
On paper or on performance?
On paper, in general, bro. Because their squad's decent, but even with everyone fit, I was picking out many holes in their team. For example, Salah, that right wing position, they've got no real backup there, man. Obviously, Leone's out for the season. I can't really talk about him because I don't really know much about the guy. But Van Dijk goes down, who have you really got? Where would you sort of rank their squad? Because I think Arsenal got the best squad in the league. Personally, I think Chelsea got the second best squad in the league, right? What are you saying?
They're still a top 4 squad, in my opinion. But the problem isn't that they're underperforming a top 4 squad. The issue is they're about to be in the top 4 race if they're not already. And I'll be honest, bro. Like, very soon, I think we're going to have conversations about them actually missing out on the top 4 if this form continues. But the issue isn't that, do they have the better squad? Is it Arsenal? They're performing like a below average squad right now. In every area on the pitch. I didn't watch their game against Palace, but I went back and watched extended highlights and all that stuff. And I was just paying attention to things other than the goals. Their build-up is just non-existent. You know, when we said, Terry, you know how for a year we've just been talking about Ruben Amorim's build-up just being non-existent? There's no difference between what we were doing and what Liverpool are doing right now. They just have 3 men behind the ball, their center-backs. They have like 1 or 2 midfielders that are miles away from each other. They're like distant relatives away from each other in the middle of the park. And then you see about 5-6 attackers just chilling in front of the box. And I'm like, who's getting that ball there? How are you getting that ball there? And it's just like they're relying on long balls that just gets them nowhere. And I'm like, you spend way too much money for this to be your style of play. It's like you just generally play like with 3 men and then a donut midfield and everyone's up front. And I'm like, for the ball to reach these areas, who's conducting that? Who's the connector? And they don't have any of that. And it's like, you might say maybe they need investment in the midfield, and I agree with you, but it's not even the individuals, it's the approach. Like with Ten Hag, remember when I wanted Casemiro out, it's because the way Ten Hag wanted to use him. Now, Ten Hag was also wrong. Don't do that. Stop. I have a lot of praise for him. We'll leave that for the United segment. But mainly is because I still looked at him and like, even though Ten Hag is an idiot, I still look at Casemiro. I'm like, you know what? He can't do that. Ten Hag was at least trying to have Casemiro play that way. I look at Slot and I'm like, who's doing that? Every ball is just like a ping ball diagonal somewhere, up front, to the right, to the left. And this squad is way too talented to be playing this way. Like, you could at least put the individuals in these positions, whether they have the attributes to do it or not. I'll be like, you know what? Maybe just go improve on Endo. Maybe go get someone who's a little bit of a deeper midfielder than McAllister or Gravenberch. I don't see that. I don't see him even trying to use it that way. He's generally Ten Hag in his second season, if not worse, because at least Ten Hag in his second season didn't have all these profiles. Ten Hag didn't have Salah. Ten Hag didn't have Isaac. Ten Hag didn't have a lot of these, but he didn't have Wirtz. He didn't have any of these players. Like, he actually had a worse squad, and he got sacked for it. So for Slot to be doing worse than what Ten Hag is doing, while being invested in by $500 million in the summer, I just think the answer just is staring us in the face right now. And it's that he has to get sacked. Obviously, if he continues this form. If he turns it on, fair enough. I just don't know if he will. I don't see any signs.
Yeah, it's such a difficult one in the sense of, so a lot of people keep using the Ancelotti example to support him being sacked.
In what way?
In the sense, well, Ancelotti won the league and the next year he got sacked. Okay, well, there's a difference in that. Ancelotti got sacked at the end of the next season, and I still think it was a mistake. Yes, I think in the end there was an 8-point gap between us, but when we played each other, and it was obviously a 6-pointer, as they would call it.
Second, and he got sacked.
Yeah, but it was the year after he did the double. But it was that season where they were only a couple of points behind us when they came to Old Trafford, third to last game of the season. The one where Javier Hernandez scored in the first 30, 40 seconds.
In Vidic, I remember that game.
Yeah, and Vidic scored 2 goals in the first half. I think it was 2-0. They might have actually got a goal back, to be fair. It might have been 2-1. But my view was that was a mistake because they weren't playing badly. They only narrowly missed out. And with more investment with the manager of that level, I think Chelsea could have, I mean, the following year was the Aguero year, but Chelsea could have gone on to win the league. They weren't in the title race the next year, as far as my memory serves me right. I swear you might have gone to AVB after that. Maybe. But it's one of these things where I look at it and go, there are times where if Liverpool are ticking over well, and say they were second right now, 4 points off Arsenal, but Arsenal were just so good. They were just picking up these extra little points here and there, and Liverpool firing on all cylinders. It's a different conversation to be had. Plus, Ancelotti got to the end of the season. So I think you've got to look at this for what it is. It's 6 defeats out of 7 games. By the next international break, they could theoretically be 12 points off the top. If Villa were to beat them, and then City were to beat them, they'd be 12 points off top if Arsenal win their 2 games. That, for me, 11 games into a season, £400 million spent. If they lose the Milan game, the Real Madrid game as well, they'll be in a precarious position in the Champions League, out of the title race, injuries everywhere, and out of the League Cup. And I think that's why the League Cup cut so deep with Liverpool fans. And I agree with a lot of what Sam has said. I don't agree that it's 90% the manager. I think some players have individually been really poor, like Konate for a lot of this season, as an example. I don't think Kerkez would look better even if they change the system. I think he looks like a fish out of water. Robertson should be starting for me. So there's some balance in this. The only thing I really disagree with Sam on this week is when he said he doesn't really care about the League Cup. I just hope when he does who's more successful out of Man United and Liverpool, he leaves the League Cups out of the trophy hall, because you can't say it's not important and then use it in your debates to say your club's bigger. I think all the cup competitions are important. I don't want to go out of any of them. But of course, if you made me choose, do you want the League Cup or the Champions League? Of course, you're going to pick a Champions League. But aside from that, I do get the complaints they have with him, because against Frankfurt, he found the solution. He went into more of a 4-4-2 shape, dropped some of the underperforming players, gave opportunities to others, and they look really good. Now, I know Frankfurt have been leaking goals. I know they haven't been the best themselves, but they looked better as a unit. It wasn't just the other team were bad. They looked better. They looked harder to break down. They looked like they weren't covering as much ground. The isolated midfield, the isolated centre-backs weren't as bad. And then the subsequent 2 games since, back in the league and then against Palace, goes back to the system that's been getting the shape that's been getting eaten all year. The substitution bench, I know what he said in his press conference, that they've always given youngsters an opportunity in the competition. Yes, but you have to read the room.
Exactly.
That needed to be players needed performances. Like, they rotated a little bit, Palace themselves. So you would have played a slightly weakened team. For me, I would have gone almost close to full strength. I'd have gone full strength. I'd have won the game or tried to win the game. Put a little bit of confidence into the mindset of the Salahs and Vierts. I know it's early in the campaign, but needs must. They're at a point now this weekend where I am going against one of my own principles. I don't even think performances in the next 3 games matter. They've got to win. Slot's got to win, because I honestly think they could sack him, rightly or wrongly. Everyone will have a pick. They could bet that he could go. The team needs to win though, because they're getting cut adrift. And the worst thing for you as a team is to feel like there's nothing really to play for. I know they'll still be in the Champions League. You've got the foul safe with the playoffs. They're probably unlikely to get eliminated, but who knows? They're in a real bad position. And I got called out this week, boys, because in my match reaction on Wednesday, I said I was really annoyed at Slot. And just like United fans online going, you're meant to be a United fan. How can you be angry at Slot? How can you be annoyed that Liverpool did badly? How can you feel embarrassed that your prediction about them was wrong? I'm like, well, you just got to stop listening to the words and being triggered by them and then listen to the explanation. I was annoyed at Slot just as a football person. I was like, you fucking idiot. I watch rugby sometimes. And I know that might not be a sport that you understand too much, Staffy, as you know, it's not really big in the States. But there's a thing that all sides do, and it doesn't matter if they're playing, even if England benefit, and I watch mainly international rugby. In rugby, there's an element of the game that's quite slow, where there might be a bit of a ruck or a maul, and the players are on the sort of in a huddle, and sometimes a player's offside. And essentially, what it means, I'm really bad at explaining the rugby rules, although I understand them. Sometimes you're offside because you're in the wrong position, so you can't touch the ball. And sometimes this is what the referees do a lot to offside players in these rucks and mauls. They'll say it's number 5. Number 5, don't touch the ball, as you'll be offside. Number 5, don't touch the ball because you'll be offside. 5, don't touch you're offside. And it doesn't matter if it's my opponents or not. I go, you fucking moron. If he's telling you and you still did it, right? Things like that annoy me as a person. When you do something that's so obvious, I don't care if it benefits me, I still get annoyed. So I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you did it. And that's how I felt about it. So if I'm feeling like that, I shudder to think what Liverpool fans feel like. I can empathize with what we've been through.
They're not confident. They're not confident right now, man. You know what I mean? Like when I'm speaking to most of them right now, they've lost all that chest. You know, I'm seeing Monts is tweeting slot out. Roms the other day when I was talking to him before the game, he said, yo, Palace are beating us. You know, Ram is not showing any chest whatsoever. What's that thing you call him? What's that thing you call Ram? Two-backer. Two-backer, yeah. Two-backer is back again.
Yes,
you know what I mean? It's back again. You know, and if this carries on, we can be having conversations about the worst ever title defense. You know what I'm saying, bro? If this carries on, because in the summer, I'm telling you, I was in Santorini talking to Roms, in the pool and that, chilling, not thinking about the season. You know, football's done now. This guy was telling me, bro, we have to win at least 2 trophies. You know what I'm saying? We have to go far in the Champions League.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, bro, you have to win the FA Cup and you have to win the Prem. You have to leave with 2 things, bro. Because managers come in with, 1 second is Isak, next second is Ekatike, 1 second is Verts, bro. Yeah, Kirkes, right? Top players on paper, and you're like, wow, like there's no way that the Arsenal can compete with this. And when they were doing this, at this point, Arsenal didn't even go and get Eze. It looked like Eze was getting Spurs. You know what I mean? It looked like Eze was getting Spurs, so the gap was even bigger. You know what I mean? So it's an absolute howler if this guy can't get it together. Like you're saying, Terry, read the room the other day, right? Because even if you look at the Chelsea game, a lot of changes against Wolves. I think we made 10 changes, but we had our experienced players on the bench. You know, people like to talk about Chelsea not having experience. Caicedo came off the bench. Yeah, Cucurella came off the bench. Enzo Fernandez came off the bench to make sure that we see out that game. And that's where Slot went wrong, because he had no one to turn to say, yo, if we're in trouble, who am I going to turn to here? You know?
Do you know what Ram said? What Two-backer said is that the kids on the bench, not one of them had a single minute in senior football.
And that's crazy. And you know what it is there? I look at rotations. I usually look at it, and I think it's a luxury. A team that can rotate, that's a luxury, especially in cups. Not everyone can be afforded that luxury. You can. It's like, let me tell you this. It's like, imagine your bank account is in a negative, all right? And you're like, I'm going out tonight to drink with my boys. I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. It's not the idea that you're going out to drink with the boys. Sure, you could do that, but your account is in a negative. You should be working double right now. You should be getting a second job, not going out. That's what Arne Slot did to me. I think I look at this and I'm like, yeah, teams that are performing well and they actually have decent players coming off the bench, sure, they can go and do that. When you're 6 losses, well, at that time it was 5 losses in 6 games, and your main starters are struggling, and you bring it on kids. Come on, why would you do that? You bring in kids in a well-performing team, not a bad-performing team. That's what doesn't kill their progression and their growth and their confidence. Because I'll tell you what, some of these kids right now, they might look at themselves, they're like, damn, we were that bad? And it might not even be them. I know it's not them. But a kid, it might actually affect them mentally. The whole game management, the selection, and everything he's been doing this season, I'll be honest, it's been diabolical. And one more thing, because I know we're going to move on from them. I'm not going to leave some of these experienced players off the hook as well, because I'll tell you why. 6 losses in 7 games. United are worse. Last season, we never went 6-7, and we finished 15th. That's how bad we are. There's worse teams that I've seen their most experienced players at least rise in their individual performances and lead by example, even when the coach is against them, the manager's not doing well, the rest of the team is not doing well. Like or I hate him, Bruno Fernandes is the biggest example. Last season, how many times in one of our worst seasons, if not the worst season that I've ever seen, rise with a lot of moments. Casemiro, the same thing. You look at the last 3 years of United not being at their best. I can tell you so many times where we were down and bad, some players, at least in the mix of how bad we've been, they were giving us moments. And with these moments, they kind of like the FA Cup that we won or the Carabao Cup that we won. And these wins that came out of nowhere, a lot of them came down to individuals. Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Varane put in before he got shipped to Italy. He was doing stuff. There was a lot of experienced players that came up with moments. Rashford came up with that one season. There was a lot of players that were like, you know what? The managers might be shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on to the pitch, but I'm at least doing my part. and I'm gonna try to galvanize the team, and I'm gonna try to lead by example. I don't see that happening right now from Mo Salah. I don't see that happening from Van Dijk. I don't see that happening from World Cup winners like McAllister. There's so many players on this pitch that, regardless of how bad Slot is, they could be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do my thing today, and let's see if we shit house 3 points. Not enough players are doing that.
From time Szoboszlai has been their best player, and Szoboszlai in an ideal world is a guy that comes off the bench. That's how you know it's a problem, right? Because he should just be a squad player. Wirtz should be playing where he plays, and Szoboszlai should not be playing at right back. Yeah, this Frimpong signing as well, by the way, it's looking like an absolute howler so far because he's injured again. Yeah?
Injured again, yeah. Horrible.
Injured again. When he doesn't play, when he's not injured, he doesn't play. You know, he comes on for a few minutes and that, but he's not pulling up trees. He's not Trent. He's nowhere near Trent, right? So that's looking like a howler of a signing. You know, so yeah, you're right, Staffy. These guys, these McAllisters and
they've got to. And that's the element where I don't put it all on the manager, because there have been times in games where, yes, they could have conceded, but you know, Alisson's made 3 great saves. Just so everybody's aware, that is his job. So Alisson making 3 great saves is what you do by having the best goalkeeper in the world. You then have chances to equalize, maybe go ahead. You don't take them. You look at the Man United game. I'm taking nothing away from us, but had 2 or 3 of their individual players in that game had better first touches, better final balls, better shooting, they could have beaten us. Now they didn't, and there's some good saves from Lemaines, and we won the game fair and square. But if you look at it from their point of view, could they have done better? And that for me, could the players have just done better? The answer is yes. And you know, there's been a lot of talk recently about experience, and I was saying the other day that when I talk about Chelsea needing experience, I feel like it's an obvious thing. What I mean without saying it is that they've got to be good enough and have experience. Chelsea have some players that are experienced, are not good enough, and they need to change that. But Liverpool have players that have proven to be good enough and have experience, and most are not stepping up, because I'll be honest with you, Konate's had a bad season and been called out. I think Van Dijk's been horrendous in so many games, and this is a man who's just been made one of the highest paid players in the world.
Yeah, look how football's changed though, man. Football is now long ball. You know what I mean? They're leaving two man at the back, long balls, long throws, crosses. You know, it's now physical. So Van Dijk, Mr. Aura, I'm not gonna come in and come to you, bro. Yeah. He's struggling.
And I think a lot of centre backs have been, when they're not in his compact nature. That, you know, and you know, these guys need to step up and do a little more. This year it says Terry, I'm giving Slot until tomorrow. If we lose, I think he's gone. I think if they lose tomorrow, I think a lot of Liverpool fans will turn. At the ground, they'll always support him in the stadium. I don't think there'll be a lot of fan cams outside the stadium going in. They don't really do that at Liverpool, but I do think that a lot of Liverpool supporters will just say, you know what, that'll be 7 wins in 8. And you're getting close to a record like Pep had last year. The difference is Pep still had so much more credit in the bank. He'd done a treble. He'd done a 4-peat. He'd won 6 or 7 Prems in 8 years. There is a difference in the two's achievements. Plus, it's the investment. And I don't think they've bought bad players still. And someone said to me in the comments, I don't know why you're embarrassed about getting a prediction wrong. I'm not genuinely embarrassed. I mean, it was kind of a bit of a play on words around Slot's making me feel embarrassed, because I still feel that a person that has the squad that he has, he should be getting this team to purr. There's so many good players in this team, so many good attackers.
Okay, let's break down their squad though. Let's break down their squad options. Their 11 is a good 11, to be fair, right?
Yeah.
But let's break down their squad. So starting off with obviously the goalkeeper. I think I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'll call him Mama. I just call him Mama.
Mama
Desfili, yeah. I think he's a very good goalkeeper. I saw him at the bridge. He's good, right? Centre backs, bro. Yeah. They've got no Leone right now. Yeah, Leone's gone.
So I would say centre backs. I agree with you. I think centre backs are the only area that they're weak. They have 2 main centre backs. They've got young Leone that's now out injured, and they have Gomez that plays there. So they're weak. They're weak there. They're weak.
Yeah. And then left back, bro, you've got Kirkes, who's been a joke, and you've got Robertson, who, I'm sorry, bro, like
I understand, but Robertson for me is still a good to very good player. He's not he's past his best, but he's still good to very good. Kirkes, I watched him for a couple of years at Bournemouth. Fantastic. He is just not settled. The mistake Slot's making with him is one that Klopp was amazing at not making. He shouldn't be in the team right now. And that's the issue, is he's forcing him in. They've looked better when Robertson started for me. I still think there's a very good player in there, but they've thrown him in. We all saw in the first few games, he was like a rabbit in headlights. And I look at it this way. Cucurella suffered with similar. He was older, but suffered with this. When he first went to Chelsea, you go from little Brighton to massive Chelsea, massive price tag, a war with City. He went in, and you guys almost let him join us on a loan. In fact, probably the only good thing Poch did for you is by playing him in the League Cup. So we said, well, no, he's cup tied.
Yeah.
Sometimes players don't settle year one. I still think Kirkes is very good. But what you guys did is you didn't overplay Cucurella. You just went, okay, well, he ain't quite working. Let's give him some time. If you keep, I know some people get played into form, but you can also burn a player. And I think they're at risk of burning Kirkes if they're not careful. I think he needs a period of time on the bench, coming on as a sub, being weaned into these games. There's no point starting him right now. But after that right back wise.
And then right back, yeah, you're looking at Frimpong, who for me ain't even a right back. He's more of a wing back. And you're looking at Bradley. Most Liverpool fans I talk to don't even want him at the club anymore, right? So that side is blown up. Yeah, you're looking at their midfield. Okay, you can look at their starters and say that's a good midfield. Wirtz, McAllister, Gravenberch, for example. Yeah, on paper should be the starting midfield without Szoboszlai on the bench. But you're looking at their bench options, bro. It's Endo. You know what I mean? It's
Curtis Jones is
I like Curtis Jones, to be fair. Curtis Jones is all right. But obviously Endo brings it down a little bit. But I'm looking at that midfield depth. I don't think it's better than Chelsea's. I don't think it's better than Arsenal's, to be honest. Right? The left wing, you know, you're looking at Gakpo, and you're looking at obviously Rio. I think Rio is good, but he doesn't really play. He doesn't really trust him right now. So you're only really looking at Gakpo. Ekitike's barely played there. And then up top, obviously, we know Ekitike is at great depth. Right wing, again, Salah, away from Salah, bro.
Well, they've got Chiesa. But this is the thing. Chiesa's actually been quite good this year. He's been quite good, and then he's not giving him the opportunities. And these are all the little things he's made mistakes with. You've got this element of Mo Salah's been in poor form. Chiesa's been playing well, and there's been no meritocracy. There's been no, you're going to get a chance. That doesn't send a great message. I've always felt that sends a bad message to a dressing room, because it shows, well, no matter how hard I try, I won't get the starting opportunities, and you've got to motivate. Now, that being said, they haven't got a perfect squad, but what I felt about this team, it's moments. I felt with Ekitike, with Isak, with Salah, with Wirtz, the midfielders, McAllister, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai have all got a goal in them, all got a moment in them. Frimpong, I thought, would be more involved in the attack. Kirk, as we mentioned, I thought those balls would be getting whipped in beautifully, like we saw for 2 years at Bournemouth. It goes back to what Staffy said. I felt when I was talking about this team winning, I felt that they would have too many moments. So no matter how they played, they would still win these games. And in the first few matches, it felt like that. And what my feeling was at the time is they're not playing that well, but look at the moments. The moments are going to continue and the play will get better. What has happened in the last 7 games is the players arguably got worse because they actually had some good halves and some good games. And the moments have dried up from all these individual players. And you're sitting there and it's like, that's why it's looking precarious. And that's why the board, you know, we'll get onto United a little bit later, but 3 or 4 weeks ago, Sir Jim came out and said, we're backing the guy. The date is really good. You're going to see the fruits of the labor soon. Be patient. Paraphrasing, that's what he said. 3 games later, we won 3. We have seen improvements. Still a long way to go. The decision of the Liverpool board, if he doesn't get good results in this next 2 weeks, is going to be so interesting, because if he doesn't get the wins and then they back him and he gets another couple of months and it doesn't improve, that's when I start looking at them, because there are so many red flags. To see certain Liverpool fans that never turn on managers start to turn on the manager, I find that to be like certain Liverpool fans, like the Red Men guys, I was working with them last year. They wouldn't on camera speak about how bad Darwin Núñez was. What they said off camera to us, and I'm sure they won't mind me sharing, is once he's gone, then they'll rip into him. But I'm watching channels like that going, I think you might have to go. And it's rare for them to do it. So it tells you there's a real problem in there, real problem. How do you think they get on this weekend against Villa?
They played at Anfield, didn't it?
Yeah.
They played at Anfield, bro. I mean, right now you're looking at a wounded animal. You know, Villa have been picking up great form. They're scoring goals again. Seems like Emery's got these guys playing some good football again. Obviously they didn't have a good result against what's that team? The college team.
Yeah, go ahead Eagles. But then they beat City.
Yeah, but exactly. But they beat City. And yeah, I think they've just got a little bit of momentum right now. You know, I feel like they're playing a little bit more like a team. They're looking a lot more stable at the back in comparison to Liverpool right now. But in terms of beating them at Anfield, I don't know if they're going to be able to go that step further. But then again, they might just have the mentality, Terry, of, yo, these guys are wounded. Let's just fucking go for it.
They're definitely
see what happens.
blood, though.
They're smelling blood. That's my point. They're smelling blood. So it could be one of them ones where they actually go and say that again, bro.
They lost a lot at home already. They lost to actually not a lot. I'll say most of them were away, but the last one was at home to Palace. They lost to us at home. I'll have to go back and see how many other games they lost at home. But
well, they're on a 4-game losing streak. Villa are on a 4-game winning streak in the Prem.
I know. Every time Terry says that, yeah, he just in his head is dancing. He's dancing. Bro.
Do you know what? I always care about the legacy debates as well, and I know a lot of people don't like the history, but I think it's really important. And by the way, I want to say congratulations this week to Mr. Gary Neville and to Eden Hazard for their entries into the Premier League Hall of Fame. That being said, I still think the whole thing's a sham until Ryan Giggs is. I don't get it still. I don't understand.
By the way, I want to talk about the Hazard whole
okay,
thing afterwards.
We'll get to that. But I like the legacy stuff, and the one thing I like about the 4 defeats on the bounce in the league and the 6 defeats in 7. I don't know this for John Terry and Carvalho. I don't know this for Sol Campbell and at Tony Adams, and I don't know this for the other, the Vincent Companies of this world. People that are all in the GOAT conversations for centre backs in the Prem. But one thing I do know is that Jaap Stam, Ronnie Johnson, Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic never lost 4 league games on the bounce at any point in their careers at Man United. They may have lost. They may have done it afterwards when they went to smaller clubs or whatever. I don't know. But in their peak in the Prem, it never ever happened to them. So I do like it for those reasons, because it's one of those things you get to add it into. And this is sometimes why when you see these. Listen, I think Van Dijk's one of the best centre backs of the world in the last decade. I stand on it. I'm not slagging him off. But when you're like 2 or 3 years into it and everyone's like, oh, he's as good as John Terry. I'm like, John Terry did 20 years. Well, not quite, 15 years. So yes, you've got a much bigger sample size, which means you're going to have a few more bad years in there. You're going to have more mistakes because you've got 15 years. It's why it's hard to have conversations about people that got a small window and you haven't seen the ending of their careers yet. And I think all these things, I mean the end of their careers at those big clubs. It's very different when they leave and go to QPRs or leave and go to other leagues. I stopped watching it, but you have to assess and that's why sometimes it's important to not have those conversations until later on down the line, if that makes sense. Because some people get like 32, 33 and fall off, and then they just look hideous. And if they stay at the top too long, they can hurt the legacy a bit because the longevity isn't there. They didn't do it into their latter years. So I like it for that reason. Some super chats here. First one says, Arne Slot believes misfortune is a tactical formation. I mean, look.
He waffles, by the way, too much in the media.
Oh, he's been talking some
they played
mad
long
stuff.
balls. And last year, we didn't face a lot of long balls. Sorry. Guys, can everyone give Arne Slot their tactical analysis the tactical approach before the game starts, please?
Starting lineups, everything. Yeah, do it.
I want him to get the starting lineup, the approach, what they're gonna do, so he can prepare for it, guys. Because Arnie's upset.
Yeah. Remember when Don said we aren't the benchmark? That's Uncle talking about Arsenal.
I did say Liverpool at the benchmark, but listen, it wasn't a wild take to say they're the favourites when they were making the signings that they were making. If Arsenal were doing that, I would have put you lot as the favourites, bro.
What's worse, Liverpool's 6 in 7 or Pep's 1 in 13? I mean, still Pep's 1 in 13. I mean, I don't know if he lost 6. He must have lost 6 in 7 within that. Maybe not. But to only win 1 in 13 games as defending champions was horrendous. It really is. But we've been quite blessed to have seen this almost 2 years running. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. I'm glad De Ligt is getting some recognition. Found home. Yeah, David, he deserves it. He's been listen, I stand on it. De Ligt's been one of the best centre-backs in the league this season, without a shadow of a doubt. He's been fantastic. So he was very good last year as well. He just didn't get the praise. Team and squad picks for versus Crystal Palace felt like a delay tactic. Slot likely to feel they would struggle, even with the first team players. He can't find a solution, so he gives himself a ready-made excuse. It's a fair point. This is interesting. Bonnie Blue has a better defense than Liverpool. I mean, Bonnie Blue just lets anybody in, though, doesn't she? Well, so did Liverpool, I suppose. 1,000 men queuing up. Is Bonnie Blue the one that did 1,000 men queuing up outside the house?
Yeah, that's her.
Don knows. I knew Don would know. he knew quick as well, Rob.
See how it is. I was like,
were you waiting in the queue long?
Yeah, man. I had to wait 2 hours. 2 hours, bro. Have you not seen that video when someone's mum catches
someone's
him?
Mum comes up. Do you know what I find mad about that, right? Each to their own, right? I'm a bit like that, live and let live, kind of old school liberal. But I'm a bit like, what did the man talk about in the queue? I'd love to know, because it's the weirdest thing. Like, men, maybe if we were your boys and you're going to meet a girl, you might say to your boys, I can't wait to go and see her, whatever, right? Yeah, boys have these men have these conversations. But the idea, like, as strangers, you all know what you're going there to do. That's the weirdest part about it for me. And I wonder about what you're speaking to the person in front of you about, knowing that he's literally going in before you.
You know, I was able to answer that quickly because obviously, I was at work and obviously I saw a picture of her like when it was going on at the time, and she was just laying there right after it happened, and obviously they showed her, you know, her genitals, if you want to call it that, right? And I can't lie, bro, I was looking like corned beef or some shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, like
that shit is gonna be ruined. My view is like this: like, you go in there after another guy, you come back out. Oh, brother, I smell your aftershave in there. It's nice, you know. Like that's the bit for me. I can't get on board with. Anyway, let's move on. Liverpool losing titles.
The chat said his dad is watching with him. he's saying stop this topic.
Sorry. Well, in fairness, there was a father and son that were in the queue together as well. Just pointing that out. Just bonding, so you know. Bonding. It's bonding. Sorry to your old man who's watching. Apologies. Liverpool losing titles quicker than Prince Andrew. That's funny, man. That's very funny. He's lost all his titles this week. I think he's been kicked out the yard as well. The King's kicked him out the yard.
You know what's so crazy about that? I was reading up on that yesterday, Terry. Yeah. So they've moved him from where he is now, but they've moved him to another private accommodation. So it's not like they've left homeless.
Oh, he's not homeless. Oh, shit.
He's not homeless, bro.
Should have sent him to the island, man. Mm-hmm. How do you think Chelsea are going to get on this weekend? Because I watched a video earlier today from Chelsea Fan TV, from a Chelsea fan. I don't know his name off the top of my head. I apologise to him. Really worried about what Spurs might do to you. Really worried that Spurs might expose your current really leaky defence this weekend. What are you saying about playing the old Spuds?
Bro, I'm not confident right now. Man. It's completely different to how I went to Spurs away last season, you know? Because if you guys remember, we went 2-0 down. Cucurella slipped twice. They ended up scoring twice. I was sitting next to Alex and I said, bro, the way we've been playing right now, I'm telling you, we're going to come back, right? We're going to come back and win this game. Right now, we go 2-0 down like that with Frank, that back line. Impossible. It's not happening, you know? I'm nervous about the long throws. I'm nervous about the crosses. You know, even set pieces, defending them. We haven't really conceded any corners right now, but I'm just worried about our box defending. I'm worried about the lineup Maresca is going to pick. I'm worried about the mentality of some of these players. You know, I'm just worried about so many things right now because we're up and down. We are very, very unpredictable, Terry. We're what? How many games we've seen this season? 13, 14 games in total. And I can't count more than 5 performances where we've been, you know, the Chelsea of last season, right? I can think of Liverpool were good. Ajax was very good. Wolves first half, very good. Second half, same old fuckery I've been seeing, right? But there's just so many things right now that are going wrong with us, bro. And again, they're not getting a red card unnecessarily the other day. He can't play now because of that red card, bro. You know what I mean? I know we just came back, but having him even on the bench is a massive boost. Having him in the squad up against Van de Ven and Danso, who are very physical, is a good option to have, right? And obviously we've got Mark Guiu right now, but I don't think Maresca will start him for the game. I think he'll probably go over 3-man midfield, like what he did last season. If you remember, Caicedo started at right back and he inverted him, right? This time round, I don't know if he will do that. I reckon he'll probably start maybe Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo, and then start João Pedro up top. I'm hoping Esteval starts on the right. I would love Gittins to start on the left, but I don't think he'll start on the left. I think he'll probably start Neto on the left. I cannot see a pairing of Shirley, yeah? Shirley and Neto. I don't want to see that pairing again, yeah? Do not give me that pairing. I don't know why Staffy keeps doing this as if I've been here saying this guy's ready to be playing for us, starting for us, bro. Yeah? You ain't got to tell me twice, Staffy. You ain't got to tell me twice what I think. You know, you can speak in a sec, but you ain't got to tell me twice what I think of him. I've been consistent. I think he's a squad player.
DMs, brother. I remember what you said in the DMs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you bring up the DMs. You can bring up the DMs, right?
No. I don't bring up DMs. It's never been me. I'm just saying I remember the combos.
Yeah, listen.
If I go back, scroll a little bit up, I know there's going to be a couple videos where you're just mocking a couple of Arsenal players or whatever. But when I scroll up a little bit, I'll find our conversation about Garnacho. You know,
bro,
you're like, what did you say about me? And I don't want to make it a Garnacho show because he didn't even play last game. But what did you say? You said, "Oh, you just hate him because he left your club." It's an agenda. Stop it, man. You did say
hold on. I know you've got an agenda with Garnacho. It's all right to have agendas.
It's not that I have an agenda. I have no reason to like him. So if my agenda is that I hate him, sure. But can I equally hate someone and say it's good? There's a lot of players that I always hated, but they were amazing. I hated Aguero's guts. I'll never say that Aguero was a shit player.
No, but my point is, even when you see the guy do any good, you'd still cook him. Is my point, right? With me, I've been consistent. Number one, I didn't want this guy Staffy, right? I didn't want Garnacho. I'm not Robert. You could do all that stuff to Robert. Like I'm chatting shit, bro. I didn't want this guy, yeah. And even when he came in, I said, bro, I don't want him. But as a squad player, as a bench player, whatever. And if it doesn't work out, he can get shifted, right? But going back to the point of this game, Garnacho and Neto cannot be starting again together. I don't want to see that pairing. It's as bad as starting Chalobah and tossing together. It doesn't work, yeah? So Gittins on that side or Neto on that side, and you start Esteban on the right. The centre-back problem, people, right now. It's a problem, Terry, yeah? Chalobah got rested against Wolves, but I am sick and tired of this guy. I have been watching him for years making stupid bozo mistakes after stupid bozo mistake, right? I didn't want this guy back at the club. He's another one I didn't want here, bro. But he's been brought back. And after what he did last week, he should be nowhere near this 11 right now, right? I'd rather give opportunities to Josh and Fofana, yeah? Play Josh and Hato. But do I think Maresca will do that? No, I don't think he will. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he will, bro, right? So you're probably going to start Chalobah right centre-back, maybe Josh left centre-back. I'm not really confident with that back line. Last season, we went there with Cole and Badia Shield. We played a lot better than those guys. You know what I'm saying? And obviously the fullbacks, you're talking about Reece, you're talking about Cucurella. You know, so in this game, bro, we need to turn up, especially Pedro playing up top. You need to stay up top. You cannot be coming to drop into the midfield and running away from your position, because all you're going to do is let Danso and Van de Ven just be looking at each other talking. You know what I'm saying? They'll be looking at each other talking because you're not occupying them, bro. You know what I'm saying? But for this one, you know, George thinks that they're probably going to go to a back three. That's been our kryptonite. You know, Frank, we tend to struggle against Frank as well. Like, bro, I think we've only beaten Frank twice when he's been at Brentford. Once away and last season as well. Yeah, since he's been in the Prem. I don't think we've beaten him more than twice. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to predict Chelsea right now, but because at our best, like Caicedo at his best, Enzo at his best, João Pedro at their best firing, unbelievable team. You know, but then when we're playing like how we've been playing, I ain't got confidence in that.
Okay, I'm going to go to Staffy in a minute, but we've just been talking about Slot losing his job, and he won the league last year. Okay. If you were to lose this game, that would be 4 defeats in your last 6 league games. It would probably, the saving grace for you is the 2 teams behind you in the league, Palace and Brentford, play each other. So you're not going to drop too far down unless, again, if Brighton win and if Newcastle win, who else can jump ahead of you? Everton, they'll be level on points. You could drop down to as low as 11th or 12th this weekend.
Yeah.
If you're sitting 11th or 12th, 10 games in, you would have lost 4 of your last 6 league games. You're also stating you have said you've got the second best squad in the league. I know you've got some injuries, but injuries happen. If you've got the second best squad in the league and your form and your points total is worse than Liverpool, surely you would see Maresca as being under pressure at that point.
Listen, Maresca right now is not on form. You know, players can be off form and so can managers, bro. You know what I mean? He picked it up like recently, Terry, when you've been saying your Chelsea look at their back. But overall, I haven't been happy with a lot of the things he's been doing. I haven't been happy with the decision last week to bring Tosin on and take Josh off when he was our best centre-back, right? I haven't been happy with him starting Tosin and Chalobah, yeah? There's certain things right now we can do with the squad and use them better, yeah? Don't start Neto and Garnacho together. Use Esteban more often. Gittins right now needs to be starting more games, right? I need to be seeing a little bit of dynamism. I need to be seeing someone that can actually take on their man and not be shifted off every time they're trying to take on their man, yeah? I need to see something different. I need to see a different dynamic duo up there, bro, right? So him himself, he can improve because he has not been using the squad the way he needs to be using it for a lot of the games. He's overcomplicating things. You know what I mean? He hasn't been really putting out a lot of balance out there. It's only recently where he started to put a little bit more balance, trusting the likes of Guiu and whatnot. But you're right, man. Like if we lose this game, the optics won't be great because some games you can't really blame Maresca. But there's been many games where I've come on and told you guys he wasn't good enough in this game. Why are you not playing this guy? Why are you playing this guy here? Why are you taking this guy off? Why did you not start this guy? You know, so he needs to fix up as well because he hasn't been good this season. I'll be honest. He's been average, bang average, man.
Who's been bang average?
Maresca. I don't think he's been good this season, bro. I think he had a little period like where we won our 4 games, but overall, I have not been impressed with him this season at all. I'll be honest with you.
Staffy, how do you see this game going? Spurs fans are not sold on Thomas Frank, but they are sitting 3rd in the league. They've won. They've been even in games like they lost to Newcastle. Newcastle didn't have it their own way. Spurs probably should have scored goals. So, barring probably the Bournemouth game, even games where they've lost this year, they've been well in it. They've won a lot of matches. How do you see it going against Chelsea at White Hart Lane?
Is it still called White Hart Lane? Isn't it the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
I won't.
Stadium now, isn't it?
I won't ever call it that. That's why I don't care about the naming rights. You can sell the naming rights of Man United. I'm still going to call it Old Trafford. That's why, the St James's Park was always St James's Park. It didn't matter they had a sponsorship. Do you know what I mean? The only time I've done it is the Emirates because they literally moved. But yeah, I'll still just call it White Hart Lane. It's on the same place. So yeah, it's me.
You know what? 2 weeks ago, I think it was, they had the NFL games in Tottenham Stadium. I never watch NFL, but I think that day had nothing to do. I was like, let me just put this game on. So the commentary was talking about where they are. In American commentary, they love to always talk about where they're playing. So they always say, we're live today from New York. We're live from this. We're live. So they kept saying, we're live today in Tottenham. And that's it. And it's just like, it irked me the whole time listening to it. Because it's like, first of all, you don't hear that in the Premier League. They'll just say, yeah, like, today's game is at Old Trafford. It's in St. James Park. So they just kept repeating, we're in Tottenham. And I'm like, I know they're not in Tottenham. They're in North London, but they're not saying that. They're just saying, we're in Tottenham. And it's just like...
Yeah, it would have sounded better to have said, we're in Tottenham, North London. Yeah. Or the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Yeah.
Me not to hear like anything after we're just Tottenham. I'm like...
We're in Tottenham. Now, why are you in Tottenham? Why are you in Tottenham? We're in Tottenham.
By the way, you don't want to go Tottenham, anyone. Tottenham is not a nice place. I'm just saying. Unless you're from Tottenham, there's no point going Tottenham. It's just nothing to do there.
I hear.
No. The pigeons in London, there's a lot of pigeons. In Tottenham, the pigeons fly upside down because there's nothing worth shitting on. So it's terrible. It's terrible.
You're gonna upset a few people with that.
Yeah, man. Don't let anyone in that category, man.
to talk about the game, though, I'll be honest, bro. Here's the thing, Don. When we talk about Chelsea, I get annoyed because of you. You just give me nothing to go off. It's like, no disrespect, bro. You just waffle for like a good 10 minutes. You tell me that you're confident or not, that you should fix up, and you don't know, like, oh, we should win, but you don't know what's going to happen. Like, it's always there. I have nothing to go off. It doesn't create a debate for me.
If we're better than Spurs, we'll win. If we're not better than Spurs, we might lose.
I'm not to say to that. I'm not confident.
What can I say?
We need
what
to
can
win.
I say when I see my team playing like this, bro? When I'm seeing Staffy, they pick and choose when to turn up, bro. It's unpredictable. That's what I'm saying. When I done my preview not long ago with CB and that, about an hour ago, George and that, yeah. And I literally put in the title, which version of Chelsea will turn up? I don't know, Staff. Yeah. If we were winning games and playing like how it was last season, I'll comfortably sit and say we're beating Tottenham. If we go back to the preview when we played Spurs last season, I'll probably say we're winning that game. Yeah. And I still think we'll win, but I'm not confident. Bro.
Okay, so here's the thing. And I clocked you, by the way. I've known you long enough now to clock you on this. I was like, you know what? This is who done this. You give more praise when it's due, by the way. I'm not saying you just give unjustified praise, but you give more praise than you give smoke when it's warranted. So when someone does something very well, you praise him, you sing his name, you rave about him for weeks, and that's fine. Especially if you love your players, go ahead and do that. If
You've been lying this week because you even added me about the thing.
I didn't even finish my statement.
No, because you tried at me the other day, Terry. Yeah, because I said Esteval. I don't know if you saw the clip that Chelsea put up of Esteval whipping the ball. Yeah, and I was like, these lot need to learn from Esteval whipping in the ball. This guy says, "Oh, why don't you ever say this about Rice?" I said, "Bro,
I've never heard you praise Rice as a crosser." Go to Don's Twitter. You're always gonna see when Rice does something, and as I said, it's still justified. When Rice does something stupid, he's the first one to tweet it.
That's my job.
You've never kept the same energy for Rice's crossing, and you said, "Oh, that's a lie," and all your minions came in and start backing right away. I was like, "Bro, listen,
So
we're
I'm
in
on your X
territory
page now, right?
Not
I'm
ratio
searching.
here. I'm gonna stay
I'm
quiet.
searching word rice and crossing, and let's see if anything comes up on
Bro,
Don's
listen,
page.
hey, it's not my job to prop his crossing. You know what I'm saying? It's not my job to prop his
But
crossing on
that's
my
the
Twitter.
point. I'm just
No,
saying
on
you've
my
never
Twitter.
done that.
No, I
Someone who's
have.
an elite crosser.
On numerous, I've said it on numerous pods, bro. This guy's one of the best at taking cross corners and free kicks and whatnot. You literally said, "Oh, what was it? His crosses are like KDB level in the group." And I literally said to you, in the group,
I said his crossing. I said I don't
Yeah.
think I've seen a better crosser than him since David Beckham. And
Yeah,
you said
and I said
KDB.
to you in the group, in open play, no, but on set pieces, I think
which is fair.
right up
Which
there.
is fair.
And
I think
said
from
that to
open
you,
play,
right?
KDB clears.
Yeah,
I agree
and
with
if for you
you.
to
But
try
on
to say
set
I don't, and if for you to try to say I don't crash it on my guys, it's just a lie. Because
No, okay, so
because
that's
if
not
you
what I
did
said
go check
again.
my
Listen to
review,
what I
I'll
said.
crash it on these
I
guys.
said, no, you gotta hear me out. I said,
Go
when
on.
you praise,
Mm.
you go all the way. When it's time to hold smoke, you don't do it the same way. When it's time to smoke someone, oh, I don't know. I haven't been impressed. Yes, he needs to fix up. But when it's praise time, yeah, look at him. He's one of the best in his position in the world.
What do
Look
you
at
want me to say?
this guy. And it's just like, I get it. You're not one of these fans that wants to cook their players online. I'm not asking you to do that. But this is what I'm
I do
saying.
cook my
It's
players
kinda,
online. What are you talking about? I do cook them online. This is where you're going wrong. I cook these guys, bro.
Hear me again. When it's time to praise, you go all the way. When it's time to hold smoke, you don't hold the same energy.
What do you want me to say then?
praise
You want me
stronger
to say
than you
sack him?
smoke players.
You want me
Someone
to
like
say sack
Delap,
him?
I'll tell you this. Hold on. Someone like Delap, I swear to God, if Delap played for Man United, I'd be beefing Terry right now because he would be telling me that I'm being reactionary, for what he did. The guy's been out for months, and he comes back, and the first thing he does, 2 elbows, red card. What the fuck is that? I mean, and by the way, in a form that you guys shake your head all you want, you have what, 6 red cards in the last 9 games?
Big discipline
How is
issues
that
at
not being
Chelsea.
spoken
Big
about
discipline
enough?
issues.
You want to go on my Twitter right now, Terry, and type in Delap. Yeah,
I don't care about
Staffy,
Twitter. We're here
I've
right
got some
now.
homework for you. I've got some homework for you. Yeah, I literally said we got another red card the other day. I've got some homework for you. After this show, go watch my review, and you'll see a 3-minute
What does
monologue.
that have to do with what just happened right now? You had a 10-minute opening monologue.
I literally just said Delap got a red card and he fucking can't play at the weekend. Yeah, he can't play at the weekend. Our discipline is all over the place, bro. I literally just said that. Do you want me to? Is it going to be enough if I say sell him now because he's got a red card? Is that
That's
what you
not
want?
what I said. I don't care. Listen, I don't care how far you go. I'm just saying you usually don't give smoke as much as you give praise. You love to give the praise. You love to sing the praise, but when it's time to give smoke, you don't.
That's a lie.
And it's going away from the game. No, it's not a lie. It's not a lie.
It is a lie. It is a lie
every week.
because I've got receipts. I've got receipts. Bro, I love Palmer, bro. Yeah. I've got receipts on both my Twitter and on my reviews and on here, absolutely cooking this guy, bro. I've even put clips up on my Twitter, yeah, when guys were saying, oh, they were moving like Palmer's like an all-timer and Palmer's a Chelsea legend already. Palmer can't be criticized. I was literally putting up videos on my own Twitter cooking this guy, bro. Yeah. So no one can try and tell me I don't cook my players because I do. Yeah, I call it as I see it. And right now, I've literally said to you, these guys cannot fucking defend long balls. These guys cannot defend fucking anything in the box right now. Maresca's fucking about with his decision making, his in-game management. Delap is a fool for getting sent off, right? I don't know what more you're saying. I don't do more. Okay, do you want me to say, okay, Maresca should get sacked then? Yeah, Delap should get sacked.
Say what you want. I'm telling you what I've noticed. I'm telling you what I've noticed. You can agree or disagree. I'm just telling you what I've noticed. All right. This is a team, by the way, that we're going in right now. As Stay said, if you lose, that's 4 losses in your last 6 games in the Premier League. This is a team that I sang their praises all summer. I had all the Chelsea fans bigging me up on Twitter. They were sending me contract negotiations saying, come join us on the blue side because of how much I give you guys praise. They thought I was a Chelsea fan. So for me to give them smoke right now has nothing to do with agendas or whatever. I'm just calling it as it is. You're going to this Tottenham game, and I haven't been impressed with what you're seeing. We can talk about the game in isolation if you want. I'm just saying, leading up to this game, I looked at the Wolves game, bro. You guys were cruising 3-0. You love to send me, by the way, comps of your players are playing well and all that. And I'm like, I watch them. I don't reply to all of them, but I watch what you send me. And then I go, bro, and I didn't watch the game, so I'll go watch the highlights. Some of these goals that you conceded, I mean, holy shit. I know you already talked about it, but bro, this is schoolboy defending. This is the way you defend set pieces is like you're a bottom 3 team in the league. It's so unacceptable. What was it? The second goal for Wolves. You know how they always say you don't want the ball like to bounce in your box or don't let the attacker get the first touch in the box. Now the first, second, third, And then the fourth was the shot to the goal. You allowed four different players to touch the ball in your box. This is a team, by the way, that we sang their praises going into the season. I was even saying, I think if Arsenal drop off, Chelsea are ready to go there and get second place from them. That's how high I was putting you guys. I'm looking at the performances, and it's been nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. And I think the World Cup, I have to hold my hand up, and a lot of people will. I think the World Cup, the World Cup hype kind of clouded our judgment over this Chelsea team. You did good. I don't think
it did cloud your judgment, because
I think it did, because I'm not seeing a lot of the same performances.
That Club World Cup starting 11 had two very, very important players in there, bro, that we haven't played all season.
Palmer's not there, and I understand that.
And Cole was not there as well.
Even before Palmer got injured. There's
a lot of issues with this team. Cole was a big part as well, bro. Cole was a massive part as well. You know what I mean? These are two important starters.
I agree, but let's be honest, bro. Your defense shouldn't live or die just on Colwell. And I agree with that. Go back and talk about, listen, there should have been investments. The fact, and I'll be honest, I told you, you know what? Fuck the investments. Maybe it's time for someone else to step up. I was wrong, because clearly no one could step up. I think I spoke about Badiashile and I talk about Colwell, whatever. No one stepped up. All I'm trying to say is, I saw signs of maturity of this Chelsea team going into this season. I was like, you know what? This is a team that's maturing in front of our eyes. With consistency and this group being together for a longer time, I think they're ready to take the next step. Just comes with experience, comes with age, comes with repetition of playing more games, coming into more seasons. I'm looking at it right now, and I don't see that same Chelsea. If anything, bro, we can always go back and say the recruitment was bad. And I'm ready to say, actually, I think I said on my channel last week, in all honesty, you had one of the worst summers. But there's no point in talking about it, because we're here to talk about the Spurs game. That was probably one of the worst summers that I've seen for you guys. Because I'm looking at you, I'm seeing people getting gassed over what Gittins did in the League Cup over the week and saying, I want him to start against Tottenham. But then people saying, well, the fact that he played 90 minutes against Wolves, it means he's not going to start against Tottenham. The inconsistencies shouldn't be happening for a team that is in this stage. Sure, I know you're not the finished article. Sure, I shouldn't be talking about you guys. I'm like, yeah, they're ready to win the league. But I'm seeing below that. Just like how we're talking about Liverpool's standard being a much below, I'm looking at your standard. Yeah, you're not as bad at Liverpool at what you should have been doing this season, because you're still up there. But it just hasn't been good enough, bro. And going into this Tottenham game, the fact that, by the way, we're talking about a Tottenham game every year, Terry, this is the one game that we never do analysis for. I have never heard a Chelsea fan do analysis for the Spurs game. You know what they say? 3-point lane, let's move on to the next topic. I've never heard them talk about it. They always smoke Spurs, and rightfully so. They always say we never lose to them. They beat us like twice in the last, I don't know how many years. And I'm like, you know what, bro? Maybe they're right. It's one of those games that they never lose. The fact that they're going into this game and they're saying, oh, but Thomas Frank's record, the way they're going to set up, if they play a back three, it just shows you that the expectations of us thinking that Chelsea team was going to be mature going into this season and playing that level of football is not there for one reason or another. I'm not blaming just Maresca. I'm not blaming just the players, and I'm not just blaming De Boer. I think it's a collective issue right now. But
Staffy, I don't know. This is the thing, though. The reason why you said what you said about Chelsea is because what you were watching for a sustained period of time, what you was watching in person, because it always hits different when you're watching these things in person, right? And there's multiple things that have gone wrong for us. You talk about some of the lineups it's gone with, some of the injuries we've had to keep multiple key players. You could talk about the red cards we've got in some of these games, right? You could talk about the shocking defending, yeah? But to now say, Chelsea fans should still have this false, this fake confidence, right? We're not going to be confident right now. But the thing is, Staffy, we're watching
just saying the confidence is not there, so we need to address
the only thing I would say, Don, about your prediction is this. I do get your point that you have no idea if you're going to be good or bad. But I still would like you to predict which one of the two you think it's going to be at White Hart.
I've already told you. I think we'll win the game. I think we'll win the game, bro. I actually predicted. I predicted Chelsea would win. I'm going to win the game 2-1. I don't think it's going to be a mad game. People are saying 3-3 and whatnot. Broski, this ain't Ange ball. I don't see it being a 4-3 again. I think it'll be a tight margin.
It's going to be a game with a lot of goals, I'll be honest. Because I don't look at the front line. I think they score a lot of goals. You guys, and your defense is not that good. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't see matchups in the game where I'm just going to keep. You know how they usually go into them, the key matchup of today. Watch this guy go at that guy. Watch this department, that department. I don't see that, bro. I'll be honest with you. This team, by the way, this Spurs team is the only team to give Wolves points, and they give them points in their own ground. You're going to that same ground.
They lost their last game at home as well, innit?
They lost to Villa. Actually,
Villa.
they haven't won the last 2 games at home. So
Yeah,
the fact
yeah.
that you're going to their but the fact that you don't have confidence is why I have an issue. Not with you. There's a reason why you're not going into this game with confidence, and you should. But the reason you're not is because your team is not achieving what we expected them to do. This Tottenham team.
This is the thing, though. Like, if you look at when we had Badiashile and Josh here, and that's why it's really annoying because Badiashile is another one that's got a goal, right? When I talk about our squad, Colwell's not there, but Badiashile is a similar profile to Colwell because in build-up, he's very, very similar to what Colwell does. Those 2 games he played when he came back, bro, our build-up from the back, our defending from the back, the composure from the back was a lot better than what we're seeing. At least we're seeing a little bit of stability, a little bit of balance, something we can work with. But then that gets taken away. That gets taken away after 2 games. We're back to the same old fuckery, bro. Yeah, you will never ever, Staffy. One thing about ball in general, bro. Basics of football. You can't be changing your goalkeeper every week, and you cannot be changing your centre backs every week, broski. Yeah.
But this is who you've been for 3 years, Don, and that's the issue. Like, if I'm Maresca, bro, listen, if I'm Maresca in the World Cup, I'm like, I played this well in the World Cup. I think you played well last season. You go into next season, forget what you think about Madueke, forget what you think about Jackson, forget what you think about Sancho. These are 3 players that were main contributors to the last season. You go into the new season, and that whole front line changed. Whether you like them or not, that manager spent a whole year developing them to play in a certain style, in certain positions, and then they all go and you replace them with new players. But this is who you've been every year. And this is why I don't want to give Maresca too much smoke. I think he deserves to hold smoke for some decisions he makes. And I'm fair with him. I believe I'm fair with him every week. When I speak about him and I say, I think he got that wrong, he got this wrong. Maybe he should utilize the squad a little bit better. But this is who you've been. This is who you've been for the last 3 years. You've just been. There's no stability. There's no consistency. Something works well, and all of a sudden it's going to change. And for any manager, honestly, to be at Chelsea right now, it's always going to be the case. Because I'll be honest with you, bro. Come next summer, all of a sudden Kwanda's going to be here. You're going to make like 5 more signings anyways. You're going to sell like some players that maybe now have higher stocks and you're going to benefit off them. And you're probably going to be talking about, oh, look at me again. I have a new back 4. I have a new front line. I have a new goalkeeper. The only thing that's stable in your team, obviously, is your midfield. And I think the only reason I rate you high is because your midfield. If it wasn't for your midfield, I wouldn't be talking about you the same way.
I'm sorry, bro. You're telling me you don't rate Reece and Cucurella then, no? You don't rate those guys?
Okay, your fullbacks are amazing as well. Let me add that. Apologies.
You don't rate João Pedro and Dilat? You don't rate Esteban?
That's not what I said. It's not that I don't rate them. I said it's always interchanging.
Yeah,
it's interchanging
interchanging the attack for certain games. I don't mind that, bro. Right? But centre back is as an area you should not be chopping and changing. Yeah, and we've had this problem. You're right for numerous years, and that's why for me, even last season, I kept saying, bro, we need 2 centre backs. Right? We need 2 centre backs because we need more stability there. Fofana can barely stay fit. Obviously, no one prepared for Colwell to get injured, and even away from Colwell, we still had Vega at the time that could have come in, right? But him and Maresca obviously fell out. Badiashile, bro, I don't. He don't exist to me because he can't stay fit as well. Here's another problem. Because when he gets injured, Staffy, doesn't get injured for 1 or 2 games. He's gone for months like Reece. When he gets injured, he's gone. He came back for 2 games after being out for months, Staffy. He's out till December, bro. Right? And that's not even coming back to play. That's probably coming back to do training. So we're probably not going to see him till the new year. Yeah? So how are you going to kick on when 1 week is fucking tossing Chalobah? 1 week is tossing and Josh. 1 week is Chalobah and Hato. You're not going to fucking do that. And that's why I've been saying for ages now, we need to revamp our centre-back area, the way that we revamped our attack, the way that we revamped our midfield. Because when I'm looking at our midfield, the other day against Wolves, right? We made numerous changes. You start Santos, you start Lavia, you start Buonanotte in the 10. I even forgot about Buonanotte, right? No problems. I'm looking at that, I'm like, okay, cool, no problems, right? You look at Arsenal, for example. They've got Saliba, Gabriel. The other day, they started Mosquera, Hincapié as their centre-backs. No problems, yeah? I'm looking at my backup right now. It's not shocking because there's certain man in there that I would play, but Maresca's not playing these guys, bro. He's not starting the pairing that we want to be seeing right now, bro. You know what I mean? I would rather now just start Hato and start Josh to have a little bit more balance, or start Hato and start Fofana to have a little bit more balance. But fucking Chalobah will find his way back into the lineup, right? He will find his way back into the lineup, bro. Get this guy out of here, bro, because I've had enough of him. Yeah, I've been speaking about his bozo moments for years, bro. For years, bro. Yeah. And he's not the only reason why our defending's been bad, but he's bad. He's a bozo. Get him out of here, bro. You know what I mean? So that's a major flaw right now of our season, Staffy. Our centre-back pairings get chopped and changed every single fucking week, and it's irritating, bro. It doesn't allow us to build any consistency. When you play Chalobah left centre-back, our build-up is shit, yeah? Our build-up is shit. It's no surprise without Cole, we're not as fluid as what we were, bro. Because Cole, people like to cook him. The guy, bro, he'll punch it into the middle. You start the attack straight away. And he's a good defender as well. And he's normally fit as well, right? Come on, bro. It's a jolting, and I've been speaking about it because people like Staffy just say, "Oh, don't crash it on it, bro." I've been saying for time.
You just did. I'm glad I got some energy out of you. Now I'm happy. I achieved what I wanted.
Bro, I've been. You know what it is. You know you keep talking about the same thing, Staffy. Yeah, like I can't fake being angry because I'm past the point of being angry, bro. You know what I mean? I'm just waiting till January now. I'm waiting till the end of the season already to just start to get some centre backs out of this bitch. Yeah, Chalobah out of this bitch. Yeah, if we can get Tosin as well out of this bitch, get him out of here, bro. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at right now, right?
I agree with you. You need to spend big on centre backs, and one of those centre backs needs to be like, I wouldn't say a marquee signing, but it needs to be a big spending. Like someone who's like, you know how you guys like. I don't even want to say Esteval because I don't even remember how much you guys spent for him, and he's a little bit younger. But you know how you're looking at him, you're like, yeah, that's a future star for us. And I think you need something like that, not necessarily someone his age, where it's more like someone who like, yo, look at this talent we just signed. He's going to be our best center back over the next 10 years. That's the type of signing that you need to make because you're lacking, bro. Not only are you lacking decent center backs on the ball and just ability, you're lacking leaders, bro. You dead ass need leaders there. Because at least leadership, sometimes when you're not the best center back, at least leadership does something. It kind of galvanizes everyone in the back line. It kind of gets people the team through some games. I think you lack that. And I know people always say, oh, they're missing their John Terry. You don't need to have an old timer for me to consider you a good team. Like John Terry, players like John Terry you just don't find them every day. Like you'll find them once, and that's why these players are generational. You'll find them once in a generation. You don't necessarily need a John Terry. But you need someone like that. Like even Thiago Silva, for as old as he was when he played for you guys, you always knew you had a captain back there. You had a leader back there. His ability was kind of winding down, but still, you knew, like, you know what? We still have a leader back there. You have no leader.
That. The thing is, Staffy, I get that about the leadership at the back, cool. But right now, bro, I'm looking at the quality first as a starting point.
No, I agree. I said, but after that, I agree with that.
Yeah, are you able to just be competent at the back, bro? I saw Josh ain't even 20, right? Against Sunderland last week. He was the only one that was stopping the fucking transitions. He kept stopping the transitions. If you just came from fucking from Mars, you know, Terry likes this analogy. If you just came from Mars, you're an alien, you come back to Earth, and you watch Chelsea for the first time, you would think Chalobah just came out the reserves, and Josh has been playing in the Prem for nearly 4 or 5 years, bro.
No,
you know
I agree.
It's a quality problem as well. It's a fucking quality problem as well, man.
I agree with that. This year says a Staffy curse hits again. Whenever he starts hyping up a team in pre-season, they start fluttering. One season it was Spurs. This season it was Chelsea.
So what's his name? I mean, I hate that they removed his names, but
yeah, Foolish Snippets is his name. Yeah.
Snippets. The two teams that I spoke well about was Liverpool and Chelsea. One won the World Cup, and one just signed every player under the earth. If you think I'm the only one that hyped them up and it's a Staffy curse, then I don't know what to tell you. But I'll tell you one more. I predicted Bournemouth and Palace to be top 6. Was that a curse as well?
And this is, to be fair, I've seen Don criticize his players.
I didn't say he didn't. I said it's not the same way. His praising is much stronger than his criticism. I didn't say he's never criticized. Listen to the words.
You need to watch my content more, bro. Trust me. Because I go in on these guys. Trust me, bro.
Chica here says, get on him, Staffy. Call out. He called out Gabriel, Rice, Saka, Martinelli. Not good enough. But he knows deep down, the lap got a bozo gene. Terry, we need deadly Spurs to cook this Chelsea fraud every Friday.
Hey, Chica, big yourself up. What you need to do after this, go watch the preview we just did because Deji was there. He was cooking me. So I'm sure you'll be happy with that.
Go get it watched. Don, no problems. You won 4-3 last year. Last ditch, I think is what he says there last.
There ain't going to be no 4-3 score
equals it's not good enough. Good morning, gents from Canada. Thank you, Michael, for tuning in. I appreciate it a lot. Classic Don, second best squad in the league. I'm not confident we can beat Tottenham. I'm not sure Garnacho is good enough. How bad do you think after all the things you said about your squad then, how bad quality do you think the league is if you're the second best squad?
boy, I mean, not everyone has all the options that we've got. You know, I mean, if you want me to break down my squad, I can.
I'm just timing. I'm just overall. If you've ripped into a lot of your squad and you think it's the second best, you can still think it's second best, but that must mean you think the overall quality of the Prem's quite low.
Yeah. I don't think, like, for example, if you look at Bournemouth, I don't think their squad's deep. I think they've got a good 11, but I don't think their squad's deep. Palace, they haven't really got a deep squad. Liverpool, they've got a smallish squad. You know what I mean? So I think we've got options in numerous positions. It's just certain players that I don't have the quality.
Just to interest of time, because it's trick-or-treating night tonight and I've got daddy duties. Do you think United are going to make it 4 wins from 4, Staffy, tomorrow against Nottingham Forest?
Okay. I'm going to say no. But the reason I'm saying no is because every time I predicted a United loss, we won. So it's a firm no, Terry. That's my prediction. We're going to lose. Now I'm actually going to tell you what I think the game. I'm just not going to predict a win. Just understand it. If you get it, you get it. If you get it, you get it. But no, I hope we make it 4 in a row. I think we've been playing very well the last 3 games. Different styles as well, different type of games, big games, small games, games at home, games away. I've seen a lot of different things. And I want to say one thing, though, before I kind of like give United some praise. I'm really disappointed in the fan base. But nothing, it's nothing new. Like, the day I die, please, I want as many United fans to be at my funeral because I want to be let down by them one more time. It's just every time, I'm just saying, I want to be let down by them one last time. We had a whole week to talk about how good our win was against Brighton. And instead, I saw Emerham FC versus Emerham Out FC. FC versus Emerham Out FC. And I'm like, holy shit. We waited 11 months to finally string some wins together. And the minute that happens, we're talking about apologize now or you didn't believe or all that. Bro, one of the worst fan bases I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, I hated it so much.
I agree and I disagree. I agree in the sense of the last 3 wins we've had. I've had various people on, yourself, David, whoever. Some real staunch outers. And I haven't really brought that. I haven't brought that up as a talking point because I agree with you. I want to speak about the games, and it isn't even the time for that conversation yet because no corner has been turned.
Yeah,
there's the potential to, but we haven't turned the corner. I agree. What I would say is, David said something very interesting in the group chat today, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this. He sort of said that he's starting to get some optimism, and the reason he's getting optimism is because he's been researching what happened at Sporting, where it started really badly. It took him the summer, about 10, 15 games into his first full season. Things started to click and it got really good. And there's nothing wrong with him going, oh, actually, maybe we're going down that road as well. My point is this. A lot of the United fans saying keep the faith. They already understood that story about what happened at Sporting. So that's why they weren't going crazy with the defeats and everything else that was going on. So I do understand it from their perspective that they were saying, look, we were in a worse situation than Sporting were in, a much bigger juggernaut to turn around. It's like trying to turn an oil tanker whilst it's moving, and it's going to take time, but we believe it'll start to come good. And I do understand why some United fans will sit there and go, we told you to be patient. I think that's a conversation for later on down the line, personally.
I agree.
For me, I don't think it's for now. I think we need to go and beat Forest. And look, we've got a chance of beating Forest away tomorrow. I think Forest away is a very different test to even Brighton at home because we've got good home record so far this year. I know we beat Liverpool, but our away record has been bad for a while. They've got Sean Dyche in. There's a little added flavour to this game because of the comments that he made on the overlap a few months ago that he'd get better results with Ruben's squad. And I hope that's an extra motivator. But I am hopeful that, you know, these small tweaks and the players getting confidence, I hope we do go there and win. And some people in my group chats are predicting 3-1s United, 3-0s United, a few 1-0s. I hope the 3-0 happen. Mate, if we could go away and win 3-0, forget all the side stories, to win 4 on the bounce, to win well away from home. That for me is when you start going, oh, maybe this isn't just a couple of games of us playing well. We're actually starting to turn corners. We're actually starting to look like a solid team, a team that can win. But I don't want to get carried. My issue is I don't want to get carried away. And one, that's because I believe in.
No, you shouldn't.
I don't believe in tempting fate anyway. Even when Man United were at the peak of our powers under Sir Alex, I'd be with my mates, are you going to win this weekend? I'll be hard. I never gave it the big one before games. I just don't. It's not my personality to do it. Whenever I do, yeah, exactly.
We just went over there and got a cheeky look of 3-0. I know that was Ange and that, but you know You know,
Yeah, we
there's
also
no
beat
bad
Brighton
habits.
4. What
Ange
did
was
you do
there
with Brighton?
still, if
Hold
Ange
on,
was
hold
there
on. We beat
still,
Brighton 4. What did you do with Brighton?
I mean, we got a man sent off and was comfortably cruising the game.
Ah,
You know what
okay.
I
What
mean?
did you do
Yeah.
last year with Brighton?
because you got opened up. What about? Hang on.
Really
I've got a better one. I've got a better one. What about Sunderland at home?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, Chalobah. You know what I'm saying? Chalobah,
Ah.
yeah.
Anyway.
But equally, I'll be honest with you, if Ange was still there, I would predict a win. If Ange was still there, I think it would. I think everybody would have beaten them. They weren't very good at all. But I'm just for me, I'm still in the same space I was. I want a win, yes, but I want a performance. I want to see improvements. I want to see us working hard. I'm still assessing that more than I am the wins. And I was saying that when we were losing. So I'm saying it when we're winning, because for me, we've got to become consistent performers. Ever before I start thinking about turning corners and what a winning streak might win, it's the performances that I'm reviewing. And there's a couple, City away, Brentford away, that have pissed me off this year, Grimsby as well. It's now, if we can start getting a few of these good performances away from home, that's when I think the conversations around corners being turned should really, really kick in. I think United fans should be mindful of that. I think we should be saying to our dressing room, thank you, well done, brilliant, but keep your heads down, work hard, don't get carried away. Fall in love with winning matches again, and don't think, I think we'll be okay now, guys, because I want to see you guys run yourselves into the ground. I want another goal, Cunha, this weekend. And Mbumo, let's do it. Let's set Shesko up this time. Score some goals. Come on, let's go and do it. Let's make it 4 on the bounce. It'd be amazing to do that tomorrow. And then it builds up a massive game the following weekend away at Tottenham. Can we make it 5 against Tottenham? Let's set up that narrative. Let's do it.
You score first for me, you win the game. That's how I'm kind of looking at it right now. I think if you score first with the momentum that you've got, with Mbuemo, the goals that he scored, very good goals last week, Cunha, I think he'll probably I don't think he would run away with it, but I think that would just spur them on to get another one, and maybe you win the game 2-1 or 3-1. Because Forest haven't been great. Like, I watched the game against Porto. They looked good, to be fair, against Porto. But overall, they're not the Forest of last season. You know what I'm saying? They're really not. They're really missing Ola right now, Ola Aina. You know what I'm saying? Morgan Gibbs-White, it doesn't look like he's really been great so far. I think he got his first goal of the season against Porto. He scored a penalty. But yeah, man, I think you can beat them. I think you can beat them, but for me, you have to score first. You have to score first, man.
So the interesting thing for me is that this game is completely different than the last three, I should say, because I'm yet to see us get a convincing win when we play a team that doesn't want to have the ball, and I'm predicting them not to have the ball. Brighton wanted to build up. We knew that was their strength, and we nullified it. I wanted to give Emery praise for that, but I'm not going to go over all these games again because I know Terry got to go soon. That's what we did perfectly last game. Off the ball, by the way, the last 2 games, 2 different approaches, but credit to the players where a lot of people wanted to rule them out and say they're still shit, they're 15th. No, the squad is not the same squad from last season. We went 4 out of 4, by the way, in the summer. Perfect goalkeeper, and all the 3 attackers that we signed have been amazing. So perfect job done in the summer there in terms of incomings. Now, the last 2 games, as I said, off the ball, we've been amazing. The players, no one. I don't want to hear anyone talk about them downing tools, giving up, not working hard. This whole season, and Terry can, whether he agreed or disagreed, my consistent argument was, I think the players are trying. I think most games that we lost, they just didn't know what they were supposed to do. But I've never questioned their hard work. The last 2 games, to be fair, the plan was obvious and the execution was obvious. And when your approach is pressing and winning 50-50s and second balls, you have to give a team so much credit because they worked hard so much over the last 2 games. And the results finally have been on their side. So I'm happy for them to gain that confidence and actually get these results. And I'm obviously going to give Emram the praise for that as well because I think he set us up correctly against those 2 teams. Now, going into this game, my biggest worry is we're going to play a team that probably there'll be no reason to press because they're going to be going long anyways. And that's kind of who Shandaish is. And I have personal beef with Shandaish that I'm going to tell you guys about in a minute. But now I'm going to see us play a team that is going to give us the ball more than the last 2 games. So what am I going to do when I have so much possession? Because you can work hard all you want, but if you don't have a team that's comfortable in keeping the ball, and now we're going to be playing against a little bit of a lower block, and there's not going to be all these spaces, what are we going to do? So I'm expecting some tweaks again. I like the tweaks, and Terry can attest to this. I texted him before the Brighton game. I said, I'm happy with the lineup today. I said he made changes to the Liverpool game, and this is exactly what I think he needed to do. And we went ahead and won 4. So I'll give him praise for that. I think there should be some changes in this game as well. I expect our midfield to be a little bit more technical. I don't think we'll play Manu, but let me see how Cunha maybe drops a little bit deeper. I don't want to see Ugarte start this game. I think we're gonna need Maguire to start again. I know people are not gonna like this, but I think Maguire is gonna start this game over Lenny Yoro, because when they go long, one thing that we always want to do is win that first ball. So he's gonna put him there. I'm going to be looking at our approach now, just that we're playing a different team, a team that's comfortable giving us the ball, and they're going to be comfortable defending. And if we win this game, I'm going to look at those last 3 games, and I'm like, yo, 3 different teams, 3 different grounds, 3 different level of difficulties, and we won all of them. And I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to be like, we won differently than we won against Brighton, and we won against Liverpool. That's a lot to build on. And that's what start giving people confidence. So shout out to Emram, shout out to the team. This one will be big. And listen, if people want to get giddy, go ahead and get giddy. I'll just say stay grounded a little bit. But one last thing, though, before you go. I hate Sean Dyche. And let me tell you why. My first experience in England was Man United versus Burnley. It was during a time. Do you remember when we hired Ole and we just couldn't lose a game?
Yeah.
We couldn't even draw a game.
Well, when Rio said, give him what he wants. That one.
Yeah.
That was actually during that run, but I attended a game before that. So United had won like 7 in a row. And then
you didn't miss your flight that time. You didn't miss your flight that time, no?
No, I didn't. So I flew to England and I attended Man United Burnley. And guess what was the result of the game? 2-2. Remember where Victor Lindelof scored that last minute goal?
Yeah, like a loopy type header. Yeah.
It bounced off someone. I think Sanchez's header bounced off someone, and he kicked it into the roof of the net. It was his first goal for United.
Right. Yes, I do remember. Day. Yeah.
We were down 2-0 up until the 89th minute, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I almost shed a tear. I was like, "There's no way. This is my first game at Old Trafford. I paid all this money to be here, and I was just graduated college at that time, so I didn't even have a lot of money saved. Like I was still broke. I was like, "There's no way I spent all this money for this." And then we scored 2 late goals. Pogba scored a penalty and Lindelof scored that. So I kind of salvaged it. But the first game that we didn't win under Ole, I was there. Before that, we won every game. So maybe add that to the Staffy curse. And it was right before we played PSG as well. So yeah, I have beef with you.
I hear you, mate. I hear you there. Yeah, listen, we'll see the
results, by the way. Man's moving like Gyökeres, man. You don't see it? Who? Pogba, the video of him training.
Oh yeah, he's an old man. Like, in a footballing sense, he's an old man now, isn't he? He's an old man now. Like he is, whether people like it or not.
Stiff.
Yeah, no, he does. He does. In terms of the other team playing this weekend, Arsenal, they go away to Burnley. I mean, they've probably got other than them being at home, they've got Burnley and Sunderland in their next 2 games. What an opportunity with City playing Bournemouth and Liverpool playing Aston Villa and City. What an opportunity Arsenal have got to continue this current unstoppable run, make it 9 wins on the bounce. They haven't conceded a single goal in this entire month. Anyone see any upsets there, or is it going to be full steam ahead for Arsenal, Don?
Nah, they're winning that game, man. They're winning that game.
Are they the benchmark now?
Say that again?
Are they the benchmark in the Prem now, Arsenal?
Well, I mean, defensively, yes. Offensively, they still need to fix up, but their defense is put because bro, they've scored what? They've scored 1 goal less than us, but they've conceded way less goals than us. So clearly you can see what the problem is, the difference is, you know what I mean? But yeah, the defense right now, bro, like Burnley are going to be another team that just sit back, camp in their half, hold out, as much as they can. They'll be fouling them as the game goes on. Rice will whip it in. Gabriel will get onto the end of it. Saka might get an assist as well in the game. But yeah, man, it's going to be the same thing that we're seeing right now, because they're not blowing teams away in terms of their style right now, but they're just being really efficient whilst everyone else around them is talking about. That's pretty much what it is. I think it's similar to what Liverpool were doing last year, but Liverpool were playing good football and everyone around them was fucking about, whereas Arsenal right now haven't been horrendous in every game, but their defense is what's kind of seeing them through these results for me. You know what I'm saying? Obviously their set pieces have been really good as well. So yeah, I don't see them losing. I don't see them dropping points. I think they'll win. The game.
You know what, bro? Shout out to Arsenal. They set up every game with 10 players. They go 10 versus 11 and they win every game. So the fact there's a numeric disadvantage every game and they still win is amazing.
Or is that because Rice starts?
No.
Why is that?
Your mic, by the way, gotten like so loud out of nowhere.
Oh, did it? So yeah, who's the player that?
That's
no, I'm confused. Who makes it 10-11? I'm interested. Oh, Gyökeres. Yeah, I wanted to know what the banter was. I wasn't sure. I wanted to know.
Gyökeres, bro. Gyökeres. Listen, you know what? If Arteta wins this league, I'm gonna give him so much credit. You know why? They said we need a striker to win the league. They signed a striker. He's doing nothing. And they're about to win the league. They said we just need someone to score goals, and he's not scoring goals, and they're on track to win the league right now with the way they're moving. It's just like it's amazing to me. Everyone thought they're a striker away from winning the league, and they're gonna win the league regardless of the striker because he does nothing on the pitch. By the way, I'm so happy we dodged that bullet. I'm so happy because I thought he was the one for us, and Sesko was the one gonna go to Arsenal. If Sesko was on this team, I'd be more scared. I can't lie because they're already amazing.
Why are these guys getting insecure? Am I wrong here for saying I don't think Arsenal have been playing this fluid football all season? I think I can pick out games where you've been like good. Atletico, I think you were good. What other game was that in the Prem? I think against Forest, you blew them away at home. Newcastle.
Right? So again, Newcastle, they were good. The only game this season where I think they haven't played very good football was one against Man United opening day. I think they were okay. Very good against Leeds. No, the Palace one. Palace and Fulham I disagree with. They played very nice football in those games, and Scott Parker actually, the Burnley manager, said the same thing. Yeah, but the team sat 11 men behind the ball for 90 minutes of the game. That's not on. I don't blame Arsenal for not having. So did who?
So did Forest, bro. So
yeah,
did
but as soon as Forest, yes, but once Forest conceded, they opened up. Fulham didn't open up even when they conceded, and we know we've had this conversation twice. Marco Silva screaming at his players, get up the pitch. They're like, nah, bruv. And at the end of the day, they've played nice football. It's just if teams sit 11 men behind the ball, it's hard. They've got to find a way to break it down. I'm not arguing that. I just find it a really interesting argument that teams are not expansive. Teams are scared to play Arsenal. Teams sit back against Arsenal. We've seen that in the facts that have come out. If you actually look at the lines of people's defenses when they play Arsenal versus their average, it's always lower. They don't play as high because they know Arsenal will kill them. Arsenal have got to find a way in open play of scoring a few more goals. I'm not going to deny that. I think Arsenal fans know it. I think where Arsenal fans get frustrated is that they're getting blamed for games not looking great because the opponents aren't attacking. And I can't understand why Arsenal were being blamed for that. That doesn't make sense to me.
I'm not blaming them for that. Bring up Ace Blue comments as well. Because Ace Blue, that comment that he brought up there, right? Ace Blue, you just put a comment there. Don just said we have scored one less than Chelsea, but it's criticizing the strike force. Broski, we have scored, I think we've scored the second most set pieces in the league right now behind Arsenal. Yeah. You haven't scored many goals in open play, very similar to Chelsea. And I've been criticizing Chelsea for that. So in open play, we need to do more. I have not been seeing the fluid football I've been seeing, like I was seeing last season, for example. We're not creating as many chances. Yes, we've got our set piece goals, but we need more in open play. And going forward for you guys as well, you need to be seen more in open play. Your set pieces for now have been good. They're working on that. Great. And for Chelsea, they've been good as well. Great. But I still need to see more in open play. And it's the same thing for you. But like I've said, what's really getting you guys over the line right now with the goals you're scoring and the set pieces you're scoring is that you're not conceding any goals. You're not conceding any goals, bro. You've clearly got the best defense in Europe. So I don't get why you're getting so touchy about that, bro.
But yeah, I think as well for Arsenal, the sample size is low in the sense of, I think against Burnley and against Sunderland, I think they're going to score a few goals from open play, and then their numbers are going to be pretty much on par with everybody else, and it's going to become a non-talking point again. I think when it's a small sample size, like for instance, Chelsea, I know you scored a few from set pieces, but what really helped your goal difference is you got to play West Ham when they're at their worst this year, and that's not a dig at you.
They played West Ham too, though.
Yeah, no,
they played them at home.
Yeah, but they played them once Nuno had gone in there, so they were more. They haven't improved loads, but they've been more organised.
Did you see the lineup he put out?
Yeah, it's not about the lineup. We all, you know as well as I do, Nuno's teams are far more rigid and harder to break down than a Potter plays. But this is why I'm talking about sample size. It's a really small sample size at the moment, and people are over egging certain stats that will change because of you. Literally, say Arsenal won 5-0 tomorrow, none of us would be shocked. If they scored 5 goals from open play, they would suddenly have the second highest amount of goals from open play in the league, right? And the percentage of goals of open play to set pieces would suddenly be equal and like normal. And suddenly it becomes a non-talking point. That's why I think that there's no doubt they need to do better in open play. But I think people have made it a much bigger issue than it really is. I'm
not one of them, though, Tel, because literally last week, right? That's what I'm saying. All these minions in the chat that are getting mad sensitive and getting pissed off, right? You lot don't listen, because when I'm actually saying, yo, I can't lie, so far there hasn't been many teams that have been playing great football. Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea. No one's really been consistent in terms of their attacking, stylish football, away from like the Bournemouths and these sort of teams, because teams aren't going to sit back against them, Terry, right? But what I've said is that there's certain games this season where they've actually been good in open play, but their set pieces have also helped them open up games. For example, Atletico Madrid, they were good in that first half. I could feel them about to score. What happens for the first goal? Free kick, they score. They absolutely batter them in open play. Fair enough, they scored another corner, but they were good in open play. Newcastle, they were good. Forest, they were good. I've praised them in many games, but they keep quiet when I say this. But the moment I'm like, bro, I still need to see more of your attack. Your defense is unbelievable right now, but your attack still needs a little bit more, you're a hater. You're this, you're that. Calm down, man, and take a touch. Act like you've been here before, yeah? You know what I mean? You might not act like you've never been here before, bro. And it shows. Because a lot of you bro, you probably weren't even on earth the last time Arsenal won the league. Yeah? Act like you've been here before, blood. You know what I'm saying? And stop being so sensitive.
Man. Let them have fun. Stop doing that. Let them have fun.
Bro, it's not about having fun. It's about getting mad sensitive, bro. Just listen to what people are saying. No one's saying Arsenal are gonna be like this all season. I'm just saying right now, I want to see. I still need to be convinced with what you're doing in open play.
But convinced for what? To convince that they're title favourites, to convince they're the best team in England, convince they can win something. Yeah, but my point is, what are you not convinced of?
Bro, I need to see more performances in open play, like what I saw against Atletico Madrid.
Yes, but what will that convince you of?
It will convince me that they're going to win the league. You know what I'm saying? If they go and play like what they did against Newcastle or Atletico Madrid, I'll be like, bro, comfortably these guys are going to win, because defensively and offensively, there's a great balance there. Right now, I don't really see a balance. I see a team that are very good defensively, but I still see a team that are, a little bit stale up top. You know what I mean? A little bit stale.
So right now, because you're not convinced by Arsenal, which team do you still think is going to win the league and beat them to it?
Oh no, right now I think they're it. I think it'll probably be them. I'll be real. I think it'll probably be them. That's only because
I'm convinced they can win the league.
For me to, but Terry, I'm looking more at the teams. Hold on, bro. I'm looking for me to comfortably say it, because when we say the other week, we said it's still quite early, and I said to you, a good checkpoint is like end of November, December times. Then I'll say, okay, I think they're going to win the league. Right now, I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? I'm like 70% thinking, okay, yeah, Arsenal probably going to win the league. But for me to get to 90%, you know what I mean? For me to comfortably say I think they're going to win it now, I'm just saying I want to see a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Okay. I understand that. Yeah, I think they'll win. By the way, I'm looking at their games, right? And I've counted at least.
You know who Don is? Don is that father that his son got like A's on every subject. And the one subject you got a B+ on is why he got grounded. Oh, you're not good enough. You're a failure. You got a B+ somewhere. Why did you get a B+ here and not an A? You're grounded. That's who Don is.
Exactly. What if Slot changes everything and they just start winning games? They just blitzing teams.
But we're just calling it as it is right now. Of course, I get it. I'm not saying like just say yeah they won the league, it's over. I'm not saying do that. But currently they're barely doing anything wrong. I mean, listen, I took a dig at Gyökeres. You know why I did that? Other than that, I just want to rally up some people, like round them up a little bit. That's the only thing I got to talk about right now. They're defending well. They're winning games. They're not even conceding shots. They're first in the league. They're rotating every week in the League Cup and that, and they're just winning. It's great to be an Arsenal fan right now. All Arsenal fans should be on a high, and they deserve it. It's fine, you know. To clinch on the only negative that they have, I agree with you. But to clinch on the only negative that they have and go on like a 10-minute monologue when there's a lot to praise with that team, this is why people are going to say that you're an Arsenal hater.
Where did I clinch on? Like, I don't understand.
You talk about it more than you talked about everything else.
Do people understand percentages, bro? Do people understand? All I'm saying right now, for me to be 99% sure Arsenal are going to win the league, I just need to see a little bit more in their attack. I think their defense.
The fact that they're going to win the league with a shit attack, it speaks more about the teams around them than them. Because I don't think they're attacking.
This is my point, Staffy. This is my point, bro. The teams around them, for example, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, and that, bro. We've not been great. We have not been great this season.
That says more about us, the outsiders, than Arsenal. And that's my point.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, it's still early in the season, and that's where I'm saying, bro, what's there to say that Slot doesn't go on a Conte run, like what Conte did with Chelsea, where he changed something against, ironically, we lost against Arsenal, we changed the shape, we won in the fucking 12-game unbeaten run, whatever it was.
I get that, but do you think that's going to happen? But do you think that's going to happen?
No, but hold on. Before you ask him that, Don, there's a lot more that Slot needs to get right than Arteta needs to get right. Because practically, I don't even think it's Arteta at this point. Like, I there's things that I question him for, but I just don't rate the quality of their front line anyway. So I get you when you talk about their open goals.
Yeah.
But if that's the only negative I could talk about, there's a lot more that Slot needs to get working other than Arsenal just getting their open goals running. That's it.
I get that. This here from Sun says
Don. I've said 70% Arsenal, and that's why I've said 70% Arsenal, bro.
It says, Don, you bullshit out of your orifice. Tone the Arsenal fan policing when a few weeks ago you were bragging your Chelsea had a better team than Arsenal. He said squad. He didn't say team, to be fair. Don hates Arsenal. He's so biased. His team is the best, is what he says here. Minions, Don in his Halloween spirit. I gotta go put my costume on. Now, look, I want to thank everybody that's tuned into the show. It's always a pleasure to sit here and speak football with you two gentlemen. Thank you to the people that have liked, over 800 likes on the show, to get them hit for us before you leave. Loads of super chats as well. You guys are amazing. This is going to redirect you to Footy Judge Mo's channel, so go and support my brother over there. I'm back later tonight on the United Stand at 8 p.m. Plus, of course, reacting to all the Premier League games tomorrow. Until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and we will see you all again very, 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 very soon. Bye-bye.